Hello, good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Our top stories in the news tonight. Zambians urged not to mock former President Edgar Lungu's family. PFMPs rebuke British Ambassador Nicholas Woollley. Former Justice Minister LUBINDA drags tenant to court over unpaid rentals. In international news, Kenyans rally against tax increases. And in sports news, the BANYANA head to the FIFA Women's World Cup after resolution to pay dispute.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RENGLOW, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello, now the news in detail. Opposition Patriotic Front PF Vice President LUBINDA has dragged a Lusaka resident George Mulenga to the Lusaka High Court for being a problematic tenant who has failed to pay rentals for a house in Northgate Gardens off Kasangula Road. Mr. LUBINDA has submitted before court that his tenant is owing him 236,500 kwacha rentals. Mr. LUBINDA wants the court to order the defendant to pay the said amount. Details in this report.
After allegedly experiencing problematic behavior from his tenant, who is failing to pay rent for his house in Northgate Gardens off Kasangula Road, Opposition Patriotic Front Vice President LUBINDA has decided to rush to the Lusaka High Court and take action against George Mulenga, a Lusaka resident. According to an affidavit in support of originating notice of motion filed before court, Mr. LUBINDA submits that in 2019, the respondent, Mr. Mulenga, took up occupants of his flat and 4,500 kwacha was agreed as monthly rentals for a period of May 2019 to the 31st of October 2019. He has told court that effective the 1st of November 2020, he communicated to his tenant, Mr. Mulenga, that he had increased rentals to 5,000 kwacha. Further, that by December 21st, he made another communication to the respondent informing him of another increase now to 7,000 kwacha. Mr. LUBINDA laments that his tenant has refused and neglected to sign and return a copy acknowledging the new rental fee, adding that the respondent allegedly started defaulting in paying the 7,000 kwacha rentals, but when he was reminded to pay up the rental arrears and told to vacate the flat, the respondent quickly made some payments toward the arrears, but he still owes him. According to the plaintiff, the rental arrears owed by the respondent is over 200,000 kwacha. Mr. LUBINDA tells court that when he served his tenant a demand letter to pay up rentals or vacate his flat, his tenant told him that he did some renovation on the flat. The plaintiff says he did not give consent for his tenant to do renovation works and would in any event not offset the rental arrears before and after the increase to 5,000 kwacha and to 7,000 kwacha rentals per month. He wants the court to order his tenant to pay him 236,500 kwachas rental arrears owed to him from April 2022. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibweli has fined Lumezi Independent Member of Parliament Munia Zulu 200 kwacha for contempt of court and for absconding court sessions more than once. Magistrate Chibweli has asked Mr. Zulu to pay the 200 kwacha fine, failure to which he will attract a jail term of 1 month simple imprisonment. The court has also revoked the lawmaker's police bond and has ordered one of his sureties, Milenge Independent Member of Parliament Gistav Chonde, to forfeit 100,000 kwacha bond amount. This is in a matter in which Mr. Zulu is accused of libel of allegedly issuing defamatory remarks against Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane, his infrastructure counterpart Charles Milopi, and RDA Board Chairperson Mauchand Kuntawala. More in this report.
Despite pleading with the Lusaka Magistrate Court Friday morning and presenting himself as a repentant accused, independent Lumezi area Member of Parliament Munia Zulu was found guilty of contempt of court following his failure to appear before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili twice. The Lumezi lawmaker is appearing before the Chief Resident Magistrate on 3 counts of libel after he accused Finance Minister Dr. Stombeko Musokotwane and his Infrastructure and Urban Development counterpart Charles Milupi of receiving bribes. On the 27th of June 2023, Magistrate Chiwili was forced to issue a bench warrant against Mr. Zulu following his failure to appear before him. And when the matter came up this morning for return of bench warrant, Mr. Zulu gave the court his explanation on why he did not avail himself. The outspoken lawmaker indicated that on the 27th of June he did appear, but the bench warrant was already issued against him. In his explanation, the accused said on the material day he was outside the courtroom waiting for his lawyers who were attending to another case. His surety, Milenge Independent Member of Parliament Mr. Chonde, was also ordered to explain why he failed to fulfill his pledge to always facilitate the appearance of the accused. In order to deter the accused that he does not repeat such an action, despite pleading with the court to cancel his bench warrant, Magistrate Chiwili imposed a 200 kwacha fine or 1 month imprisonment if he fails to pay the fine, and further revoked his police bond in order that the lawmaker continues to be detained. The court has also ordered Mr. Chonde to forfeit the 100,000 he signed for as a surety, failure to which bailiffs will pounce on him. Mr. Munia Zulu's lawyers immediately applied for bail after the court ruling. Magistrate Chiwili says he will give his decision on the bail application on the 10th of July 2023. As if revoking his bond and ordering his own surety to pay 100,000 kwacha cash is not enough, the lawmaker remains with one more bench warrant before Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya, who says it is returnable on the 18th of July 2023. The order of arrest was extended to him after he failed to fulfill his pledge as a surety of former presidential political advisor Kaiza Zulu. Mr. Kaiza Zulu is appearing before Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya and is facing a charge in relation to failing to surrender a diplomatic passport. He has absconded several court sessions, leaving his 2 surety, among them Mr. Munia Zulu, in hot soup with the court. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka Principal Resident Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya has asked former Zambia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Dr. Kingsley Chanda and his co-accused to appear before her on Tuesday next week for their plea in an alleged corruption-related case. Magistrate Munyinya told the duo Friday morning that she needs to go through their charge sheet before they can proceed to take plea. Dr. Chanda is jointly charged with Kalistas Kaoma with 23 counts of willful failure to comply with the law and abuse of authority of office. The charges are linked to their alleged involvement in the disposal of 22 used Zambia Revenue Authority motor vehicles between January 2017 and December 2020. In one of the charges, it is alleged that the duo between January 1st, 2017 and December 31st, 2020, being public officers at ZRA, abused their authority of office in the manner they disposed a motor vehicle, namely Toyota Hilux, an act which was prejudicial to the government of Zambia. A non-governmental organization, Helping Hands, has come to the aid of 2 young entrepreneurs that turn ordinary fruits into extraordinary crunch products. Helping Hands organization chairperson Marvin Kangwa says his organization's donation of 2 peanut butter making machines worth 5,200 kwacha is meant to support entrepreneurship among youths. This follows a story aired by Camnet TV on 14th of June 2023, in which 2 former pupils of Highland Secondary School in Lusaka's Kabanana site and service, Dali Somwemba and Stephen Sichilima, are using traditional methods to dry fruits. Here's a report.
These are two young entrepreneurs who have set their eyes beyond the white-collar jobs following a story aired by Camnet TV on 14th June 2023 of former pupils of Highland Secondary School, Daliso Mwemba and Stephen Sichilima, are transforming ordinary fruits into extraordinary delights through their business venture called Pambana. The 18 years entrepreneurs made an appeal to stabilize their business ventures in their quest to become architects of their own destiny through their unwavering dedication to value addition. To this effect, a non-governmental organization has come to the aid of the two entrepreneurs by donating 2 peanut butter making machines worth 5,200 kwacha. Organization chairperson Marvin Kangwa says the duo's zeal for value addition cannot be ignored.
We have donated 2 peanut processing machines to Pambana Enterprise at a cost of 5,200. We saw their call for help on Camnet TV Facebook page. That was on the 15th of June. We understand the important role that young entrepreneurs play in today's economy in job creation. We hope our help will go a long way in their business. Continue to support young people in the community as well as disadvantaged communities. To
the two pioneers whose ambitions are to major in the fields of computer science and economics and statistics, Daliso and Stephen have turned their attention to the art of drying apples, pineapples and bananas, converting them into tasty, crunchy finished products, and expressed joy that the machines are a game changer to their business. They believe their production and quality will improve.
This donation is a very big it's a very big donation, and it's going to help us to increase our production. It's going to typically change the way we were producing, because now we're going to have access to the machines and we're going to have control over the quality. We're going to control how the peanut butter should look, how it should taste and everything. So it's a very big donation and really appreciate it.
We will now have to improve on our production, and it will also help us meet the demands in society. Yes, that's what it means to us.
Okay, so when exactly would you say work is starting and meet this demand?
Well, our plan is to start production on Monday. So exactly Monday we have to start producing. Drugs are not the way. They won't benefit you in any area of your life. But if you venture into entrepreneurship, it will surely help you in future, help your children and maybe generations to come.
As the government continues to encourage youth engagement in innovation and value addition, the two entrepreneurs hope to expand their business, employ fellow youths, and be a testament of what Zambia can produce. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Home Affairs Minister Lamek Mangani has condemned the Zambian people who have been mocking the recently held press briefing by the children of the former president, EDGAR Lungu. Addressing the media in Lusaka Friday, Mr. Mangani says the only thing the Lungu family has asked for is not to be judged by the court of public opinion, but allow the courts of law to try them. He says the country must learn from the past mistakes where the former presidents had been judged by the court of public opinion, but later acquitted by the courts of law. The former lawmaker says none of the former leaders of Zambia are respected in the region and beyond because of pettiness and events such as what is happening now.
We cannot just focus on Lungu being a victim. I can assure you it is a habit that we have developed in this country. We will continue pursuing our leaders in this manner. And there will be no leader in Zambia that will be celebrated, despite several achievements that we have gone through. Every leader will be called a thief. So the culture of calling somebody Kawarara, Kawarara, and later on we don't even have got evidence to back up our arguments. If we don't find time to hear it or to stop it, we end up destroying the reputation of our leaders. So the Kawarara concept, or the issue of there's a lion in the village and nobody has seen the lion. If we don't manage it very well, this perception is very damaging. At the same time, let us reflect on our future. I think we should not just reflect on ourselves who are privileged to run certain things. we should run focus our future even on our children. Do we really want our children to continue this trend of calling their leaders thieves?
Opposition Patriotic Front members of Parliament have challenged British Ambassador to Zambia, WOOLLEY, to desist from involving himself in national matters. Mporokoso Member of Parliament Brian Mundubile has questioned the integrity of High Commissioner WOOLLEY to involve himself in national matters when his guidelines do not support such. And Lukasha Member of Parliament George Chisanga has questioned the motive of Ambassador WOOLLEY's involvement in national matters. These comments come in relation to a comment made by Mr. WOOLLEY that the civic space under the UPND administration has not shrunk as alleged by some opposition political party members. Here's a report.
Time that I've been High Commissioner, I think Zambia is now enjoying a period of renewed democracy and the opening of civic space and the progressive moves and laws that have been introduced and indeed abolished that I've just spoken to are an important part of contributing to that and of course the efforts of Zambian civil society and its people is something that is very clear now more than ever.
He further reaffirmed commitment to support Zambia's corruption fight.
Of specific targeting, I think our view is very clear that where there are allegations of, for example, corruption, that these should be investigated regardless of the political persuasion of the alleged defendants.
These sentiments by British envoy to Zambia, His Excellency WOOLLEY, has unsettled members of the Opposition Patriotic Front. During a media engagement Friday, Mporokoso Member of Parliament Brian Mundubile challenged Ambassador WOOLLEY to apologize and step aside in national matters. They have questioned the specs and gravity of Ambassador WOOLLEY's involvement in national matters.
What concerned now is that we as a party are going through political persecution. There is no doubt about it. Our members are being tortured every day. Ambassador WOOLLEY, among others, have been quiet. We are surprised that now he found it opportune to comment. To be very honest, we are all hurt. We are injured that he took that path, especially that we clearly know that all this amounts to political persecution.
To Mr. Nicholas WOOLLEY, in line with our sovereignty. I think in as far as we have welcomed the stay of different diplomats, I think there's need that they should know where they should start and where they should end. This is because a country like Britain that colonized us for 70 years, when a man in the name of Nicholas speaks the way he spoke, it reminds us of the assault they did to this nation.
The opposition MPs argue that Ambassador WOOLLEY's statement is unfounded and question whether the ambassador is unable to see the alleged political persecution. The MPs have accused the ruling UPND of failing to govern the affairs of the country, citing the cost of living is non-stop skyrocketing. They have challenged the ambassador to tone down and step aside in issues that do not relate to his country.
They promise that the cost of living is going to be affordable. But unfortunately, that is the opposite. Coming from the trade union, I feel very, very sad what is happening at the moment. Workers' purchasing power has been eroded. Constant increase in the cost of fuel, electricity tariffs. So all these things are pushing the cost of living beyond the reach of
using intelligence what is happening at KCM. But Mr. WOOLLEY chooses to be quiet. And when we lament how we're being handled by our kith and kin, our brothers who are in government today, when we complain about how they're handling us, in fact to an extent where they want to destroy the multi-party state system that we've got in the country, Mr. WOOLLEY rises to their support and says there's nothing wrong. Let me make this very clear. We have not refused to be investigated if somebody thinks that we've carried out offenses. But this investigation must be, there must be objectivity in it. That's all we ask for.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Mufumbwe Member of Parliament Stephen Masumba has rubbished allegations by some opposition leaders in the country that the corruption fight is targeted at former government officials. Mr. Masumba says the arrest of former Luapula Province Minister Derek Chilundika for alleged involvement in the mining of Sugilite is testament that the fight is inclusive. Addressing the media Friday, Mr. Masumba says the opposition leaders should be ashamed to oppose everything that the government does. Meanwhile, Patriotic Front Lunte Member of Parliament Mutotwe Kafwaya has maintained that the corruption fight in the country is targeted at former government officials. Mr. Kafwaya explains that the arrest of Mr. Chilundika is well calculated because he has been regarded as among the weak to arrest. Here's a report.
To those in the corridors of power, it is the rule of law. To their political opponents, it is political persecution. But former Mufumbwe Member of Parliament, Stephen Masumba, has charged that there is no opposition political persecution, as alleged by some opposition leaders. Addressing the media Friday, Mr. Masumba says the arrest of former Luapula Minister Derek Chilundika is a testament that the rule of law is prevailing in the country. He says the fight against corruption in the country is not targeted, citing that many UPND officials have been fired and arrested for alleged involvement in dubious actions. The former Mufumbwe lawmaker argues that opposition leaders should find meaningful ways to provide ways.
I want to bring you to speed that to its contrary, the first person in fact that was fired from Akainde Ichirema's government was the DPS, and that time around he was acting DPS from Western Province. You know, when we saw him signing, you know, that check and so on, and you know, the president didn't take long. The only thing that he did is that he fired him. Why didn't those people that are now propagating tribalism, just because the rule of law is at play, why didn't they say that, why have you fired the person from Western Province? We have seen that the man who was actually, you know, the permanent secretary at Ministry of Mines, when he was fired, that man is Tonga. Why didn't people come out and say, look, why are you firing Tongas? Why didn't people come out? You know, we had you know, PSC Magwende here, under the Ministry of, you know, under the Ministry of Health. He was fired. Why didn't people come out and say, why are you firing these people?
But Lunte Member of Parliament, Mutotwe Kafwaya, has crushed Mr. Masumba's sentiments, alleging that corruption in the country is targeted at former government officials. He wonders why government has not moved in to halt alleged illegal mining activities at Konkola Copper Mine, KCM. Mr. Kafwaya says the arrest of Mr. Chilundika is a mere act.
A PS who refused to give documents to the Auditor General for audit purposes. You tell me why he has not been fired. You tell me why a PS Minister of Tourism has not been fired for causing government to lose so much money needlessly through that hunting concessions. Tell me why he's not been fired. You tell me why a minister who recorded the president and leaked the audios so that everyone becomes aware when the president is talking about lodges and shaking bums has not been fired. Tell me why. So that one they fired is whoever nobody muisa muri ba UPNG. Ushena 65 million yako faith msondeyo ba kutina lalanda. That is what we're saying. This is a tip of an iceberg.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambian Federation of Employers has commended the Zambian government for reaching a debt restructuring deal with the official creditors. Federation President Mara Sakala says the relief given through the debt restructuring will free financial resources for the country to actualize her strategic objectives set in the 8th National Development Plan, anchored on economic transformation and job creation and human and social development. Ms. Sakala says it is the expectation of the Union that the national ranking in the world of economies in the ease of doing business will improve from previously 85th position among 180 economies, according to the World Bank in 2020.
Federation of Employers, we feel duty-bound to commend the government for this great achievement, because this gives the nation the ability to manage the debt stock and in turn create a good business environment that must attract more investments in the private sector. It is a well-known fact that when a country's business environment is favorable, it supports the ease of doing business in the nation, hence attracting investments which have potential to boost the economy, creating more decent jobs and raise living standards of people. It is therefore our expectation as the Zambia Federation of Employers that the nation's ranking in the world of economies in the ease of doing business will improve from its previously 85th position among the 180 economies according to the World Bank rating.
You're watching Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. Join us for more news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Former pupils at Chinika Secondary School in Lusaka have given back to the school items amounting to more than 30,000 kwacha. Speaking at the handover ceremony Friday, alumni representative Saidi Akibu says the school has positively contributed to who they have become and they have found it befitting to give back to the school. Mr. Akibu says the group will continue to donate sanitary ware and school calculators, among other things, to pupils from their former J class in order to address some of the challenges that pupils are faced with. Meanwhile, school head teacher Maseko Gomezani has encouraged the former pupils to continue donating to the school in order to help in its functioning. More in this report.
Some alumni of Chinik School in Lusaka have come back to the roots of their success and donated several items to their former Class G, among them scientific calculators, sanitary wares for the girls, chalks, markers and toiletrines, all valued at over 30,000 kwacha. The alumni, who were represented by Said Akibu, have pledged that they will continue to support their former class by regularly donating items and have since encouraged the pupils to work hard and avoid group influence.
Brothers and sisters who are still in school, I really feel strongly that the free education policy that has been introduced to you by this government should not be taken for granted. It is high time that we consider appreciating the government. But how do we appreciate the government? We are not going to go to the president and tell him we have done, no, this what you have done is very good for us. We have to show it by action. We really need to work hard so that we become who we want to be in life. Today, we come here and we want to put it to record that the 7th of July every year will be a day when the J family will actually show this gesture of supporting the school in any way that it can.
Meanwhile, school head teacher Maseko Gomezani, who was present at the meeting, has appreciated the former Class G of 2009 who, in a short period of their success, have decided to come back and help the school.
I just want to appreciate you for coming to our school as J family. Thank you very much that you know you have not forgotten the school, especially from your class, that is 10J, 11J, 12J. So the ones who are in charge of the initiative, the J Family Initiative, are the ones that graduated from this school in 2009. So we are so grateful as a school that you have come back to our school to come and show your friends that indeed it is possible to come back and reinvest in the school where you left.
Meanwhile, one of the pupils who represented others has appreciated the alumni for the donation and has called on them to do more for the school.
I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this program, as well as our former students who saw it wise to visit us today. Regardless everything, you people have left your busy schedules just to be part of us today. You have donated a lot of stuff to the school, as well as the development of us, students of the Mighty Chinika Secondary School. For that, we want to say thank you, and that continue recognizing our school as the Mighty Chinika Jays. I don't know, there is this name that they call it. Thank you so much.
And one of the general workers who has been cleaning the school toilets for over 10 years has also been awarded with 1,000 kwacha for a commitment towards work, as well as one of their former teacher for being exceptional at what he does. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
President Hakainde Hichilema says education is the best equalizer and investments one can make in their life. Delivering his remarks at the Valley View University in Accra, Ghana, for the first special congregation ceremony for the conferment of honorary degrees, President Hichilema has underscored the need for discipline among those who wish to serve in public offices. President Hichilema says there is need for one to remain honest, work hard and apply fairness, equity and justice. Mr. Hichilema is in Ghana for a state visit at the invitation of His Excellency Dr. Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana.
I then said,
to recognize and acknowledge the difference that this is private property, private money, this is public money. And public money must work for the people who own the money, the citizens of our countries. For corruption, I'm talking about the knowledge that you cannot access what is not yours, but use and manage that effectively to deliver value for those who put you in public office. I think that comes with Adventism, that comes with Christianity, that comes with other religious bodies. And I'm not here to say Christianity is the only one that carries a trace. Others, Hindus, Muslims, the list is long. So we use these values that we have brought out in our families, in our churches, in our organizations, and make them available to the service of our citizens.
Shiwoyunji District Commissioner Alfred Shaputu says the construction of a 3-by-1 classroom block at Nampundwe B Primary School and Changula Primary School will help alleviate the challenges associated with the increase in the number of pupils per class. Speaking shortly after inspecting 3 projects in the area being undertaken using the Constituency Development Fund CDF, Mr. Shaputu says some classes are accommodating about 90 pupils and that there is a need to deal with this matter. Here's a report.
Shiwoyunji District Commissioner Alfred Shaputu has inspected 3 projects being implemented under the Constituency Development Fund in Shiwoyunji District of Central Province. The projects include a 1-by-3 classroom block at Nampundwe B Primary School and another one at Changula Primary School, as well as a police post in Nampundwe. The infrastructure is at 80% and is being constructed using the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. Mr. Shaputu stated that the infrastructure will go a long way in alleviating the shortage of classroom space at the 2 schools.
When the president declared free education, many people came. Like one class there, they were about 90, but now they are about 170, 190 in one class. Even here in Changula, they were maybe around 150, now they're around 400. We need to make sure that we build the schools. And then he also employed the 30,000 teachers.
Teachers at the schools are happy with the development.
Immediately our president, our hard-working president, pronounced to say it's free education. We started seeing queues of parents coming to seek for places, and which has resulted now into the increase of learners into the classroom. It is a good strategy because even those who didn't have access to education, they are in school now, and more are still coming. And my still sincere appeal to you and the president is that we need more space, classroom space. Let it not just end to the one which has come. And my prayer is we receive more and more classrooms under CDF because it's a good strategy which is increasing classroom spaces not only here but also in other districts in the country.
Meanwhile, Mwembeshi Member of Parliament stated that the construction of the classroom block will address the challenge of learner space at Changula and Nampundwe B Primary School.
The school has been built, it's a new one. From here to the next school is about 5 kilometers. So the children, kids like 4 years, 5 years, they walk from here to those schools. You think those people can finish school? They cannot. They stop on the way because the distances are too far. And we are thanking the government because of CDF. We have brought the school, instead of taking the children there, we have brought the school here. This school is full of water circulation and everything is going to be built in one shot. We are thankful to the government of His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema. Thank you.
The New Dawn government is equal to the task to ensure that people around the country get a share of the national cake through the Constituency Development Fund. Tina Kabamba reporting for Zanis in Shiwoyunji.
15 community projects worth 20 million kwacha have been approved in Isoka district of Muchinga province under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund CDF. Isoka Town Council Public Relations Officer Peter Sichali says government has also approved 12 secondary boarding school bursaries valued at 36,000 kwacha and 34 skills development bursaries valued at 635,000 kwacha for the 2023 academic year. Mr. Sichali has further mentioned that among the projects approved is the construction of His Royal Highness Chief Kafwimbi's Palace, the procurement of 6,595 school desks, and the provision of electricity by Rural Electrification Authority in public places. He further says the Ministry of Local Government has so far opened bids for supply and delivery of school desks.
Among the projects that have been approved, we have construction of Chief Kafwimbi's Palace, procurement of 25-ton tipper truck, procurement of TLB, others provision of electricity in public facilities across all the wards in the district, construction of an ablution block at Isoka Old Market, construction of maternity annex in Chwaswata, in Chwaswata zone. Then also have construction of staff house at Nasara Primary School. So far, Isoka Town Council has opened bids for procurement.
This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for international sports news after our second break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, protesters were out in force this Friday in the Kenyan city port of Mombasa to demonstrate against a raft of controversial tax increases. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Protesters were out in force this Friday in the Kenyan city port of Mombasa to demonstrate against a raft of controversial tax increases. "We are tired," chanted the demonstrators as they clashed against police forces. Kenyan President William Ruto signed a law last week imposing new taxes on Kenyans already suffering from a severe cost of living crisis. Last Friday, the High Court in Nairobi suspended the implementation of the new bill after a senator filed a case challenging its constitutional legality. Veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga's Azimio Alliance called for anti-government protests over the impact of the new taxes.
Hidden away and camouflaged, these artillery soldiers are waiting for their orders. They say sometimes it can be a long wait and at other times it can be very busy with very short notice to fire. But this unit is unique. They have father and son fighting side by side.
He is my own blood. He said he wanted to join the army. How could I let him go alone? He has a life to live. I am older and I wanted to serve him. Side by side, we have been serving for more than a year. We support each other. We kind of got used to it.
They've not always been here firing the artillery gun. Yuroslav was in the trenches around Bakhmut, where he says he came face to face with fighters from the Wagner group. He says he was surprised by their tactics, where soldiers from Wagner would charge at the trenches and scream, "Give up." We looked them in the eyes and were firing, he says. He still remembers those scenes vividly.
It's much easier to serve with your father. Back in civilian life, we were more like father and son, but here we've become more like friends. I'm worried if one of us or both of us die.
They received the order to fire. Back at the base, they monitor using a drone. They managed to strike an ammunition storage.
The biggest threat these positions face is from Russian drones, and we've just heard there's one overhead, so we have to move really quickly out of this area.
Inside, in the relative safety of their bunker, they get some respite. They sleep side by side here, in small quarters with other men from their company. It's basic, but that's life of soldiers on the front line. The counter-offensive is still taking place. They both expect to be even busier in the coming weeks and months. But Yuroslav hopes to get his son through it and get him home to his mother safely.
We now have some sports news. The Zambia national women's soccer team is this evening at 20:45 hours expected to take on Germany in a friendly match. The match is the last one that the Copper Queens will play before heading to the World Cup, which starts on the 20th of July 2023. The women's team played their first friendly match against Ireland, which they lost before taking on Switzerland, who they drew with. Zambia has made history by qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup, where they are expected to put up a tremendous performance. And still in sports news, a second group of the South African female footballers of the national team was set to leave South Africa on Thursday, 6th July 2023, to join up with the rest of the team and continue with preparations for the final friendly match against Costa Rica on the 15th of July 2023, before the official start of the tournament on the 20th of July. This comes after the resolution of a pay dispute. The dispute caused the entire squad to sit out a game on Sunday, the 2nd of July 2023, and was an embarrassment to the South African Soccer Association.
A dispute between South Africa's Women's World Cup players and the South Africa Football Association over pay has been resolved after a charity stepped in with a donation on Wednesday. The donation of $320,000 to be shared between the 23 players comes from the Motsepe Foundation, set up by African soccer president and billionaire businessman Patrice Motsepe. The standoff between the team, known as BANYANA, caused the entire squad to sit out a game last Sunday, scheduled as a send-off to the tournament in Australia and New Zealand. The dispute was an embarrassment to the South Africa Football Association and a country hoping to host the next Women's World Cup in 2027. BANYANA can now head to the World Cup, where they will face Costa Rica in a final warm-up on July 15th before they open against Sweden on July 23rd.
To end the news, the top stories once again. Zambians urged not to mock former President Edgar Lungu's family. PF MPs rebuke British High Commissioner to Zambia Nicholas Woolley. Former Justice Minister Given Lubinda drags tenants to court over unpaid rentals. In international news, Kenyans rally against tax increases. And in sports news, the BANYANA head to the FIFA Women's World Cup after resolution of pay dispute. Our common verse of the day is coming from the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Thank you so much for watching Camnet Television News. I'm Jeffrey Zembo. Bye-bye.